Everyone, welcome back to Unsolicited Bourbon Reviews, episode 31. And today we're reviewing Michter's Unblended American Whiskey. So this is probably one of my favorite expressions from the Michter's distillery. I know it didn't quite make the top 6 in terms of the ones you should have, but I think I'll just start off with saying I think this whiskey itself, especially if you're just now getting into whiskey or you're trying to get someone into whiskey, I think this is definitely a great starting point. I think this has gained a lot of popularity. So this used to be pretty easy to find. Now it's kind of easy-ish. But again, this is, I can't say enough about this, and I know we haven't tasted it yet, haven't talked about it yet, but again, I think, this is definitely just one of the best offerings from the Michter's distillery. But enough about kind of the contextual backstory stuff. So we'll kind of get into it. So Michter's is yet another distillery that really keeps their mash bill and kind of, as well as their aging process, pretty close to the chest. So which is kind of adds to the mystique of the product. And I think they're very consistent. So I don't really think there's a whole lot of question when you're drinking a Michter's. I know their bourbon is excellent. I'm not even a rye person, but I think the rye is very, very palatable in that regard. But and I think another thing that's cool about Michter's, it continues to be a trailblazer. And I know we talked about the Dickel Distillery, Nicole Austin, her being a female master distiller, and she won gold with her Bottled and Bond product. So another David fact is Pam Hallman, who is the master distiller of, one of the master distillers of Michter's, but she's also a VP, but she was the first female master distiller that was a master distiller since Prohibition that worked for a distillery that's part of the Kentucky Distillers Association, i.e. a recognized distillery that is on the Bourbon Trail. There's a lot of misconception. Again, we think Buffalo Trace and some of those other things, but there's actually a very set distilleries that are actually recognized part of the Bourbon Trail, and Michter's is one of those because they're part of the Kentucky Distillers Association. But again, we'll dive right into this. This is definitely one of the better offerings, and I've had this one for a while, and they've been really hard to come across the last year, and I think a lot has to do with the glass shortage and supply chain stuff. And I think, I noticed that once I see these on the shelf at the liquor store, they don't last long. The bourbon is pretty easy, bourbon's easy to get, the rye is pretty easy to get, but just something with the unblended American whiskey. And again, kind of just, what makes it unblended? Well, I think it's just not used with a grain neutral grain to blend this or cut this. So this is a pretty low proof as well. So again, it's only an 83.4 proof. And this is a great, and what makes it American whiskey, it's in used oak barrels, which would not qualify it, no matter what the mash bill is, to be a Kentucky bourbon because it's in used barrels. But just smell it off the nose. Vanilla, kind of a buttercream. I don't really smell a whole lot of fruit. Again, the color, nice color. We'll go ahead and give it a sip. That is excellent. So it's a little thin. Okay, so again, this is probably one of the lowest proof bourbons or whiskeys that I'll review. But it really makes up for it in the flavor profile. Very robust, very, let's say, butterscotch, vanilla, kind of has a cream soda. Yeah, kind of a cream soda aftertaste. This thing, you can crush a bottle with this. This thing's insane. But it's an easy drinker. It's not very hot in the back end. So again, with that finish, you're not going to quite get that. But I think there's something that's very drinkable, very robust in flavor, something you can definitely introduce, a friend or, someone who's looking to get into it. I think this is your winner, and this is something you look out for. So the MSRP on this is, I think around the $45 mark, very, very fairly priced. And again, the price, I would definitely, we're going to rate this. I would give this as a value of an 8. Taste, 8.5. So we'll go ahead and give this an 8.5 total. Again, I can't say enough about it. Great product. Again, it's one of my favorite expressions from the Michter distillery. It's definitely, once I start the Bourbon Trail, it's going to be one of the first stops I go to. The Michter's distillery there in Louisville, Kentucky. Again, this is good stuff. And I really hope you guys can get your hands on this, and then we can compare notes and share some thoughts. So again, I appreciate it, and we'll talk soon, guys.